It's been a few years since we were modifying and then drifting under rainbows in this little K car in Japan. Now, after almost another year of work changing floors, engines, drivelines, and just about everything else, it's now time to find out if it's all been worth it. The boost light comes on as the turbo sizzles just like it did when we drove it in Japan, and now the car is back in one piece and on the road.
I'm on my way out to the dyno. What I don't need a dyno to tell you is that this is so much fun to drive. It's exactly how I remember it in Japan. It makes all the right whooshy noises. It's not particularly fast, but it's also so light and nimble and easy to drive. Seats are great. It doesn't make a whole lot of power, but I'm very curious to know how much power it actually does make. And I may or may not have installed a bleed valve so we can wind the boost up.
Scott has offered the Haltech dyno to help work out exactly what is going on in this little mystery box of 90s JDM parts. So the car is backed onto the dyno, on which it only just fits, so he can spin it up and see what happens.
It is hot. We do have all the mod cons though. We've got air conditioning.
Oh, sick, look. Boost.
It's got a turbo light.
That's my favourite thing in any car.
I love it, man. So it might blow up too, and if it does, don't worry, because it's had a very hard life. Is the back strap down?
It's got one strap.
Oh, cool. How good is it?
Handbrake is off. Our cat efficiency light is probably always on.
Fine. You're looking at dyno only, isn't it? There's nothing else to look at really.
Nothing else.
What are you watching for?
So all we're looking at over here, I'm looking at the speed is the top left.
Yep.
Power in kilowatts, bottom left.
Yep.
Excuse me, we'll bring up our torque as well on the right-hand side here.
Yep.
And our air-to-fuel ratio, because I've put a sensor just straight up the exhaust. Cool. So what we'll first do is we'll just cruise it up and we'll get it on speed.
Yep.
And all I want to do, I want to do a couple of things, but mainly I just want to check the air-fuel ratio before we give it a hard time. We'll creep up on it. So we'll look at it, we'll give it a bit of load, make sure the mixtures are about right before we give it a power run, just so we're not wasting our time or wasting a run.
Sure.
46 kilometres an hour. The car is locked. We can't go any faster because the dyno isn't allowing us. So right now I'm just gently pressing the throttle and we're making 4 kilowatts at 46 kilometres an hour. If I press the throttle down, I'll go to 50% throttle. We're making more power, same road speed.
Yeah, okay, so it's like a hill.
Like a hill.
Yep.
So I've got on my laptop here, I can wind the speed up or down in order to get to whatever RPM I want, and then I use my throttle to change the load. Cool. So full throttle, nothing. Full, none.
And you got torque split up there as well, right?
The top one is interesting because this is our torque at the total torque that the car's making.
Yep.
The torque at the front wheels and the torque at the back wheels of the split. So let's just cruise up. We'll get to 5 kilowatts. Yeah. So probably keep in mind as well that a car weighing 600 or 700 kilos, this car cruising down the freeway is going to use maybe 5 to 10 kilowatts to maintain speed.
Pretty amazing.
So think about it now. This is us just cruising down the highway, holding 45 k's an hour.
Yeah.
The air-fuel ratio is what I really did want to check. So we're seeing 12.5, which means 12.5 parts air and 1 part fuel is going into the engine in order to make this much power, and it's happy. So I'm happy that the tune is okay, or that the car, after however many Ks it's got on it, it's still doing well. What you want to know about is the torque split. So as we cruise up, let's just try and make 1 or 2 kilowatts. Really light. So we're making 4. And at the moment, it's all front wheel drive. As soon as I start to load into it a tiny bit, there we go.
And sends torque to the rear.
Torque to the rear. So we're at about 20% throttle. It's got 73% front wheel drive. It's got 26 or 27% rear wheel drive.
There you go. I wonder if it's just going to keep that. It probably makes sense that it would.
Well,
it's a snow car essentially. That's why they made them.
So it'll pull you through the corners of the front wheels. Let's go a bit more throttle. You ready? More. That's full throttle. 70 front, 30 rear.
Yeah, maybe that's the split.
70-30.
Yeah, cool.
Seems like a number that people say.
Yeah. And also the size of that diff and the transfer case, it makes sense you wouldn't send...
Is it like that big?
Oh, it's so small. Yeah, the whole transfer case you could probably like fit in the palm of your hand.
If anything happens though, you can just like pop another one in.
Yeah, right. When I find one.
Oh yeah, fair enough. The other thing that we're looking here as well is how much torque it's making. So how many newton meters of torque it's making overall.
Yep.
Full throttle, it is making 117 newton meters of torque at 2,500 RPM.
Cool.
Which results in a power level of 13 kilowatts.
Nice.
So I'm pretty happy that everything feels pretty good.
Yeah.
One thing we didn't look at on the right-hand side there, the
Boost
fourth one
pressure?
down, boosto pressure, 2,500. You can hear it spool its little head off.
Yep.
Full throttle,
9 pounds?
9 pounds at 2.5.
Okay.
But that might change.
Right. So then it's power run. See if it holds the mixture steady in a power run. See what boost it's going to make in the power run. And then if the torque split changes, but I don't think it's going to.
I feel like that's probably what it's going to be.
70-30.
Okay. Are you ready?
Oh yeah, power run.
Power run. Full throttle?
Good. Power run.
Full throttle. You press start, which is spacebar.
Tell me when.
Go.
That was $7,000.
All right. So,
That didn't make much power at all, did it?
no, we might need to set the dyno up because it didn't actually make enough.
It didn't make enough power to trigger anything.
Didn't make enough power to overcome the inertia of the rollers.
Wow.
So, what we're going to have to do is...
So that's ramp rate?
Yep, so we're going to let out less meters per second.
Does it mean it takes longer to do the run?
It's going to take a lot longer to do the run. So instead of us letting out, before it was 12 kilometers per hour per second,
Yeah.
we're only going to let out 5 or 6.
Wow. Okay.
So let's see how we go.
Oh, so slow. Slowest dyno run in history. Wow, it got there.
We were going to have to stop for lunch.
We were. Wow, man.
35.9
35.
kilowatts, 48 horsepower.
48 horse. That's 20 horsepower gain with a turbo, man. Over what you get with a naturally aspirated one.
So it was 28
28 horsepower
to
last time.
48.
To 48.
Let's have a look here. So we've got manifold pressure. I'm just going to bring up air fuel ratio and we'll just suss it out and make sure that things are still looking all right. So AFR is good there.
So it needs more boost is what you're saying.
Always needs more. But when does it not?
I have the magic key to more power, man.
All right, let me...
This is known as an Allen key. It's interesting because that's Turbo Yoda's name. That's going to go in the top of our GFB bleed valve and go whoop, 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 more boost. Or the car might blow up. That's it, right? We turn the boost up.
Well, I want to prove that wasn't a fluke.
All right.
So
I really want to turn the boost up.
let's just prove that we can do that just one more time.
48 horsepower, yes.
Coming up. Turbo lights on.
Good.
Full throttle. Go.
5 pounds, 6 pounds, 7 pounds, 8, 9, 10 pounds, 10 and a half, 11, 10. Come on, 50. Oh, not even close. Bang on 35 kilowatts.
Okay. Look at the shape. So the shapes are the same, the mixtures are the same.
Yep.
The boost curve is the same. We can't have that. Let's change the boost curve.
Question, on a dyno,
Yeah.
so normally when you're doing a bleed valve, right, you drive, you check your boost go, you drop.
Yeah.
Can you load it at a certain thing and I go, and the wastegate just moves?
Absolutely. Yep.
And I can watch it on the screen.
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
So
All right, I'm going to get out. Be back.
I can run it up in 4th gear. I'll just gently load into it and it's going to make 10 pounds of boost. And
Yeah.
then the wastegate will move and then
Yeah.
it'll hold 10 pounds.
Sure.
You're going to be out there with Alan,
The Turbo Yoda key.
and twist that knob to whatever you want.
All right,
So
and I can just
pretty
keep an eye on the
much-
screen, right?
Yep, so manifold pressure 1 in PSI. So
And we may hit a boost cut that the ECU might have
We have
programmed in?
no idea. I've got no experience with these things. So let's go for, if this was an
12.
EFI thing, I'd be putting 2 pounds in it, seeing how it reacts.
All right.
And then another 2.
The bonnet's already popped.
And then another 2. And then another 2.
I'm going to pop the bonnet.
Go!
Did I go a lot higher than that?
Busto gatto.
Oh, I hit boost cut. Should I bring it down again? Okay, cool. Boost cut. You know what this means? This means it needs a Haltech ASAP.
They don't want you to have a lot of fun, do
No,
they?
boost cut's no fun for anyone. Are we doing another power run now?
Back in the day with all of these cars, I was a bit of a Cordia fan.
Oh yeah, me too.
And in the Cordias, it was, and I'm sure with more knowledge on this car, if we had a Cordia, we would walk out there with our boost tap, we would cut a yellow wire.
Yeah, I know.
And then off we go.
I know.
Yeah, so we picked up probably 2 pounds.
Good enough. All right, let's do it. Not making anything. Do you reckon there's some interference in there? It looks like something's like interfering with it, doesn't it? Hey, I'll take that. We cracked 50 horsepower, my friend.
Only at the very
Oh, come on, mate. 50
top.
horsepower is 50 horsepower, right?
I would say that's almost cheating. That made so little difference that
I almost feel like I should have put like a 550, an Elite 550 in here before I came. But at the same time, I'm also, it's good to know that that's where they stop it from the factory.
this is it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we just went from 10 pounds to 12 pounds. And yes, the dyno's showing a slightly higher number, but look where the power actually, if anything, it lost a bit through the mid-range. At the top, yeah, it made a tiny bit more, but
Tiny turbo.
it's not,
No.
that's not a win. I would say
Okay.
that did arguably nothing.
All right.
Whereas on a heap of other cars, like grab most other factory cars, put 2 pounds in them,
Yeah.
they'll pick up good power.
True.
Well, what do you want to make if it goes from 40...
200 horsepower.
Huh?
Not in this engine, but I want to make 200 horsepower. You know, actually, I
Two-
don't. This is a bit of a weird one. I don't actually care what power it makes. I just want a Mira with 30 pounds in it.
Well, boost is an interesting thing because do we want boost or we want power?
I don't
Because
care. I want
boost,
30 pounds, my friend.
30 pounds is
I know.
telling us there's that
I
much
know.
restriction.
No.
More
But the
restriction.
Gauge, but the gauge goes, ning, ning, ning.
Alright.
30 pounds, 3-cylinder.
Why don't we just block the exhaust?
No. No.
We can block the exhaust and make 20 kilowatts with 30 pounds.
Okay, you're shooting my concept to bits.
I get the I get it. I love the noise too. I
Yeah,
get
the
it. I
noise.
get it.
It's all about the
I
noise.
get it.
So we're done then. That's it.
Man.
There's nothing else to see, and it drives fine.
We've flogged it as hard as we can flog it. It's making it off the dyno. It is truly four-wheel drive.
Yeah, that's good news. 70-30, it's good enough. That's something to play with later on.
The highly technical controller seems to be working, so it's good to know that
do
the
it.
base is working properly.
Yep. Happy days. Thank you very much, my friend.
Let's go and choo-choo it around the block.
Absolutely. Every day.
The car isn't interested in taking any extra boost, but it makes good reliable power, it drives well, and now it's time to take it back to the same road we drove on when the story first began. In the 9 months that have passed, we've managed to put our key to the city back together piece by piece, panel by panel. It still may not be pretty, but it works, and the journey of modifying it to be even better than ever is only just beginning.
So it was a few months ago that we were in this little white turd that is now a transformed car.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
Half white, half not. It's still looks a bit patchwork, but then I don't know. Some of the best cars are.
Yeah, well, because it's a work in progress. But what I think's amazing, Marty, is that you have put so much effort into this car. You know, like you really took it to the next level with all the stuff that you did. Like things got done to this car that had never been done before.
Yeah.
And while it was awesome to, you know, get friends involved, and, you know, I loved getting involved as well, like this one was like, this was your baby. And now look at it.
Yeah,
it's like all-wheel drive, turbo, and awesome.
It's a bit ridiculous too. Like if you stop and go, I'm going to turn. I mean, I've seen people say it. People have said it to me personally too. It's like, why do you put so much effort into like the crappiest car that money can buy? And it's like, yeah, but the experience of driving the all-wheel drive one in Japan and how good it was and how cool it is, is something just trying to replicate that here and just have it as a long-term project car.
Yeah,
is so worth it. And like, it's so much better, man.
Yeah,
it's so much better to drive. Like it does all the things that you'd want a little car to do. It grips better, it's got traction, it makes whooshy noises. It's actually faster, like considerably faster.
I think that's one of the things that some people maybe don't realise when they say, why do you spend so much time on a crappy car? And what they're negating is the actual experience that you get when you're working on it. You could go, yeah, the car's not worth much, but what's it worth to actually learn all of this stuff, make an exhaust, re-stitch a floor, you know? And we wouldn't have done this in an RX-7 or a Skyline or a Sylvia or anything like that because you wouldn't have needed to. So, you know, in a sense, as we've said before, like crappy cars give you an opportunity to learn stuff that you wouldn't normally learn and ultimately learn things about yourself. That's a lizard.
Hello, lizard.
Hello, lizard. He's all-wheel drive as well.
They run up on their back legs. Actually, it's a bit like this, but opposite. He got going on all four and then it was on his back legs. This is like front and then back. And it actually all drives.
Yeah, that's also, so on the dyno, it actually, all four wheels were spinning.
I kind of, you know when you wake up in the morning, like you got to catch a flight and you had that sort of feeling of, there's something happening?
Yeah.
The day of going to the dyno, I was like, what if it doesn't all drive? What if after all this effort, I mean, because it was spinning up on the jack stands, but that doesn't mean it's sending any torque anywhere.
Yeah, you're actually powering it.
Yeah, and so I was sitting there going, oh man, after all this, it might just be a front wheel drive with like 5% to the back to get you out of a bogged snow heap.
Yeah,
but 30%, and that's the start, you know, there's ways of fiddling around with that, hopefully to get a bit more split to the back, but even at this, you can tell when you're driving. It just claws its way out, it's awesome.
Let's have a listen to some sizzle, Marty. Drop it down, let's hear it. That's awesome. So good. So what's next then, man? What's next for the key to the city Mira?
Well, next I think I just want to drive it for a while. It's at a point now where it's drivable, it's safe, everything works. I just want to drive it around and just enjoy the experience of driving it.
Yeah.
Of course, like I do want to make it look better. Like it looks pretty weird with all these bolt-on panels and dents and all sorts of stuff. And put some mad wheels on it, which may or may not be there.
That's awesome.
Only those wheels don't fit, so that's a whole nother story.
What power was it making, do we know, just when it was the white car? Like just the...
20 kilowatts.
20 kilowatts.
Yep. And now it's 35.
So almost double. What's interesting about that is 35 kilowatts in a 700 kilo car approximately is what my JDM Mini was making with its 1.3 litre naturally aspirated engine, and same weight as well.
With the Hay Series engine.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, slightly different now with the B16, but
a little bit.
But yeah, really similar. So I guess at some stage, Martin, we'll have to line the two little cars up and have a bit of a run, which I'm pretty keen for, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think this thing's going to be particularly fast with this setup, but I have to say, like, it's pretty good. Like little things like that power steering, which was all mysterious, it works so well. Like you get in it, I mean you've driven it, you get in it and it's
awesome.
Super light and really easy, and then you pick up a bit of speed and the weight comes in and it feels, I'll never say this car feels sporty, but for a little like hatchback, it's pretty amazing, and it uses no fuel.
And it makes you smile. And I think that's the reason why I love minis, I love moto combos, I love postie bikes, I love cheap motorbikes, cheap guitars, ukuleles, like things like that, because they make you smile. They may not be as refined as like the more expensive versions, but you can have fun with it. And I think that's one of the issues we have with the car scene, is that everyone's taking it so seriously. They're not even willing to have a go because someone on the internet might laugh at them, or they can't go to a car meet. These cars are just an excuse to have a bit of fun.
They are, and yeah, learn how to use some new tools, try some techniques. Like I've always wanted to make an exhaust, you know, properly. Learnt off Turbo Yoda and Dose Vader, and you know, through all the time of practicing and being shown, and now actually just doing it, so jumping in and having a go, and it worked really well. I didn't think it was gonna, but it did.
Well, thanks to everyone who watched like the whole series.
Well done for sticking it out.
Yeah, thanks for sticking it out. And I guess next time we'll be on to something else.
Yeah. How'd you go with
my car sales?
car sales? Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was awesome. You would never believe it.
I bought us the most freaking awesome